yourself a bit and what you do and where you are?
Right. Hello, everybody. My name is Mirko, and I'm the owner of Poggi Del Chianti winery. My winery, it's a family winery from 5 generations. It was settled in the city of Cavriglia, at the border of the city of Poggi Del Chianti. I restart the business of the farm on 1997, and my first bottling time was 23 about the wine and 25 about the extra virgin olive oil. The two main production of the farm are really wine and olive oil. From the vintages 2006, I decided to manage the crop in organic struggle. Actually, at the same time, 2006, I decided to start the renovation of the vineyard and focuses in Tuscan biodiversity. I decided to replanting mainly Sangiovese because basically I produce Chianti and Chianti Classico. A complementary grape, Tuscan. I grow also foraging grapes that really are international. The Cabernet Sauvignon from France, the black Tuscan Malvasia that really recently we have discovered that it's the Spanish Tempranillo. Actually, I grew 5 hectare vineyard, 11 olive trees. About the olive trees, I grew the old crop, then I produce an oil so typical about the Tuscan idea of an extra virgin. Mainly I grow Moraiolo olives, and then Frantoio, Lecchino, Pendolino, and Maurino. That really it's so typical in this part of upon the Chianti mountain, really. In this case, the winery, the main crop, or better, the main domain, I'm sorry about playing the word, it's settled upon the city of Cavriglia, to the border of Gaiole, versus the vineyard when I produce the Chianti Classico is high in the mountain, 674 meters from sea level, very close to the hamlet of Montegrossi. The hamlet of Montegrossi is closer to a ruins of a castle, one of the castles that really on the Middle Age and the Renaissance, under domain of the Republic of Florence, was part of the League of Defense of Chianti.
Okay. How many hectares did you say that you grow of vineyard? 5?
5, exactly 5.3.
Okay. More or less.
5 when I produce Chianti and IGT Toscana, white, rosé, and red. Only 3,000 meters squared, no, 3,500 squared about Chianti Classico.
Okay.
It's a real small portion of vineyard.
No, it was just because I was busy posting around, so I didn't hear very well. So it was my fault. No, please continue, because you were talking about the history of the mountain, no?
Yeah, it's. I decided to. The idea was celebrating my roots at the end, in the prosecution of the work of my relatives. The region my relatives was arrived here better in Gaiole, like sharecropped on 18 1891, 1894. We don't know exactly when my grandfather was arrived in Chianti area from Arezzo. He came here to working like shopper, because here in the area, just at the end of the 19th century, was an area attractive to work. And then for me was something natural. Try to celebrating and to give honor also to my chronicle. I decided really to proceed the work, the familiar work, and in this case, I'm the newest thing was that I'm the first that bottling wine. Before my gestion, really nobody have bottled the production, because we was partner to other winery, but really it's quite normal here in the area when the dimension of the farm was so small, the people doesn't bottle wine, but really are partner of the winery cooperative or are partner to other big castle. In my case, the first target was try to bottle the wine and create an offer. In focuses always with Sangiovese. Only the white was made by two white, Trebbiano Bianco and Malvasia Bianca Lunga del Chianti. The other one, right from the Rosé until the Super Tuscan, practically the Sangiovese is present in the first percentage, as like, for example, the Rosé was made by 50 Sangiovese and 50 Tempranillo. The three Chianti that I produced, all 100% Sangiovese, the young one. The Chianti Classico, another Chianti aged in wooden barrel, 90% Sangiovese, and other 10, one made by Canaiolo, one made by Cabernet, and the Super Tuscan versus 50 Sangiovese and 50 Cabernet, or 50 Cabernet and 50 Sangiovese.
But you also grow Tempranillo then?
Yeah, I decided in the new plantation. Originally, I'm sure to planting black. Really, I discover recently and officially better from 2 years ago in the catalog when we buy from the camping center, the was practically disappear the name Black Tuscan Malvasia, because the 17 biodiversity, the 17 clone found in Tuscany about the Black Tuscan Malvasia, after DNA analysis better, are results all 17 100% Tempranillo. Then possible to proceed in the kind of great Black Tuscan Malvasia, but to be polite and correct, maybe it's most correct in Tempranillo. I grew how many? Not a lot, but represent maybe the 3% of the total stretches, the Tempranillo. 6% the Cabernet, 83-85 Sangiovese. The Tempranillo, it's utilized to produce the Chianti Riserva. Because in the vineyard because in the vineyard of Chianti there is Sangiovese. In this case, the vineyard of Chianti Classico was a vineyard planted on 24. It had 3 years old more than my planted here in the. And really, I have no decide in this case for planting this vineyard, but I right found the blend of the different present in the vineyard. Really, the Classico vineyard was a long search around from 23. I decided to make it a crown and the production with a glass. Also, I'm back to explain an artifact. The name Poggi del Chianti.
Yes, why the name?
Del Chianti. Yeah. Poggi, maybe everybody know in Tuscany slang, Poggi, oil or hills. In this case, I would like utilize the name Poggi del Chianti because the farm was 5 hills in 2 different CTO. It's a name open. In theories, it's possible bring some other crop in some other, I don't know, not necessarily in the CTO of Gaiole or maybe, I don't know. With the name, it's always a name open that can be covered and maintaining really an identity. Where we are here we are, actually I am at a winery. The winery was known originally del Morellino. Really, the Morellino in the recently time what was famous about Morellino di Scanzano.
Yes.
To have no problem or to doesn't make confusion about this wine, I decided to substitute the original name Fattoria del Morellino in Poggi del Chianti wine.
Okay. So I don't know. Do you want to talk about more about the area? I mean, the bit about the terroir, the soil that is typical for where you are. Because I think people like to hear a bit about that too. So.
Well, if we if talking about the soil or the terroir, about the main corp of the farm, and then here in Cavriglia, we can try some element closer as like in other part of the Chianti Mountain. Here we are in the east slope of the Chianti Mountain, and we are outside to the area known Chianti Classico, the production of Classico. By characters about the pedologic soil and the mineral, we can compare with the lower part of the city of Gaiole, as like the area close to Monti. Because really it's rich of, but the lower part, and southern, because really if we check in the part of San Donato and Gaiole and Radda is totally rich of calcareous, it's rich of marns. Versus the southern part of the city is completely different about the soil. There is a lot of clay, a lot of sand. Originally, that came from the old Cretaceous sea. Maybe the unique difference it's condition because here we are in Valdarno area, the river Arno, and then we have certainly different microclimate conditions. It's also true that I'm here because the vineyard the best part of the farm was settled very high on top of one hill. Then it's very sunny and far from the foggy event that usually are present here in the valley. Versus if we talk about the vineyard of Chianti Classico, in this case we can express a real extreme review maybe about the definition of the wine, because it's a single vineyard. The vineyard is settled in extreme condition. It's really unique. It's unique to wine not because I'm the unique that growing the vineyard in high altitude, but certainly because I bottle only from this vineyard because I grew actually just. The name of the vineyard is Vigna I Greppi. I Greppi.
Con la B?
J-R-I-G-G-I.
Ah, Greppi. Così?
No, con due P, Palermo.
Ah, P, scusa.
P.
All right, sorry. I Greppi.
Correct. I Greppi, it's funny because it's exactly on top of the mountain. It's completely exposed. The rain more than something other. Practically, it's uncovered from. There is no other peak closer or something other, but it's totally exposed at the mostly harder climate condition. It's present a lot of sand. It's unusual because closer in the crop closer there is not a lot of sand as like the grow. The funny thing is the double inclination of the slope, because it's a little bit inclined. Really, when they rain, a part of the water falling in Valdagno and part versus in Valdabbia. We have double thing. In this case, we have it's a special. It is necessary to spend a lot of attention to manage the vineyard, because sometimes it's easier part of the production, because it's the last that usually come to picking.
Okay.
And really arrive usually the half part of October to waiting the complete ripeness of the fruits. It's a big risk. Then sometimes also a small rain or cold at night difference or can damage the wine. Really, the wine of it's also fine and elegant, because certainly the Sangiovese growing in high altitude have no body.
True.
At the same time, the tannic texture, it's really ripe also if it's young. Usually in bottle is the vintage is 2013. It's really mild. Before to the bottling was aged 1 year old in big with a barrel. Actually, it's 1 year old more or less that is bottled. I think in comparison with some other Chianti Classico, really it's a little bit unusual, because usually the Chianti Classico is a wine considered always powerful, very strong. In this case, it's really delicate, right?
I remember that I tasted it.
when I spoke, yeah, I remember.
So
About the
it's only
lightness,
single vineyard and only Sangiovese.
Sangiovese and Cabernet.
Okay, okay.
Yep, there is exactly 90 Sangiovese and Cabernet Sauvignon. The Cabernet Sauvignon, it's certainly choose to help the Sangiovese to obtaining a wine with a little bit of culture more than without.
Okay. No, I didn't remember. I'm sorry. So if you talk about this wine just briefly, you age it in oak or you only do steel?
Well, all the wine are fermented in stainless steel. In this case, the was aged 1 year old in wooden barrel. I chose after a cask maker artisan from a long time, and casually I found a man. It is the third generation that make cask.
Okay.
Really, I discovered this artisan after almost 5 years old of searching. Really, it's one of the almost in province of Florence is actually work and make barrel by hand. And really, I decided to buy artisanal barrel, make it from this guy that really was known.
That's cool.
Carmignani Bofina from La Rufina. And really, it's made by French oak. Part of it's also Tuscan. I'm also surprising about this because guy working also with some oak made originally from here. I know that recently the Tuscany region too have released a special brand, a special certification that is possible. That really release when it's made by or by 100% or quite the total by Tuscany. Wood grow here in Tuscany, and I think always in province of Florence. Maybe. I don't know exactly. But I'm really satisfied because also the marker of the wood is different with respect to something other. It's not very.
How does it influence the wine? Do you think there's a big difference in the influence on the wine itself than if you would buy it from a foreign producer?
Yeah, in my case, yeah, maybe because I'm really enthusiastic about this new barrel, but I found a lot of different because the wine maybe also to make the difference in this case because really from a long time the knowledge came from the own grandfather and maybe the aptitude to specialize the own work to a land, to a territory, perhaps make this different. It's a taste, it's a wooden taste, maybe less powerful compared to some other cask utilized by famous, maybe the most dishes in Italy that really are made in Conegliano Veneto without notes the cask maker. Very strong flavor of wood. It's persistent and intense. In this case, it's lighter. I think it's really good to valorize the natural flavor of the wine. I think it is maybe it's one of my best choice made in the last time to make one.
No, but that's interesting. I hadn't heard. I mean, I didn't know that many who use locally produced barrels, because mostly they use Slavonian oak or French oak or similar.
Yeah, it's true, but it's a real US thing. It's more also for me really. Wine was made on 2013, the vintages. The barrel was barred where? When? Or at the end of the 2014 or at the start of the 2015, because he have restarted recently to make barrel because have stopped with in the 90s when was the arrived the trend to aging also the Chianti in barrique, because really he have stopped to make big barrel because nobody would like buy the
That's true. I mean, that's a trend that is coming back now. So.
Yeah, exactly. It's really as like every trend that really is in press usually an opposite, as like the trend of the wave arrived before, and really casually, I came to him to asking if it's possible retoast and regenerating the tonneau, because me too I'm utilized French kind and barrique. Usually, almost 5 years old, I'm utilized old barrique. Then I'm start to utilize tonneau by 500 there. I'm come to meet this artisan to ask him if it's possible renovating my tonneau. Casually, it was remaining at the own lab, one barrel upon 10 that he have made it. I'm surprising about this thing, and then I decided to bring this barrel because really it's also maybe it's a big utopia, but I would like working when it's possible also with different manufacturer and different other producer. I don't know. The cork factory, the label factory, really close to sustaining the economy. Because me too, at the end, I'm part of the net of the production. Really small, that really it's the big part. It's a big part of the economy, the Tuscan economy.
Yeah.
Maybe the Italy too. And then I happy to give a chance of him because really also him represents the knowledge of the from almost a centuries, and then I decided to start a collaboration. Now I will waiting a new one, always made from this guy. In this case, it will be 100% Tuscan. The wood utilized. Because I love it. I think it's necessary be not totally relaxed, but it's necessary always be curious and experiment a little bit in your own profession, in your own working experiences, because the routine is always boring.
That's very true.
And then it's necessary try some newest thing to also to have some new stimulation to proceed in the world.
But do you use these barrels only for the Chianti Classic, or do you use it also for the Chianti, or?
Actually, I'm utilize French kind, French tonneau, to make the Super Tuscan.
Mm.
My Super Tuscan age 3 years old in new barrel.
Okay.
Chianti Classico in the barrel, in the Tuscan handmade barrel, versus the other Chianti that looks like about the style represent a Chianti modern, always big barrel by what I consider made here in Italy, North Italy, no Tuscany. Versus the three younger white rosé and young only in stainless steel.
Okay.
Stainless steel because really the idea is to keep the freshness, keep the crispiness of the fruits, the fluids out of the production.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we go back to the rosé, I'm sorry if I didn't get that before, but what blend did you have in the rosé? Was it in the rosé you had Cavriglia, no?
The rosé à la well was made by actually it's my third time in rosé. It's the last wine I arrived. The 2015 it's the fourth vintage is made. It's made by exactly 50% Sangiovese and 50% or black. Usually was macerated 24 hours.
Okay.
One afternoon, a night. The wine was wrecked. The juice fermenting as like a white. So this motivation.
Okay.
Is to have a point of pink, quite red from the Provence rosé, but really I think it's mostly closer to our idea of rosé.
Okay.
Yep.
No, I'm sorry I asked again. I'm sorry I interrupted you. So, I don't know, which one do you want to talk more about? Is there anything you want to add about these wines, or do you want to talk more about the Chianti versus Chianti Classic, or you can choose?
Well, certainly in these two really are my team. The peak. I don't know if you yeah. It's a baby.
Yes.
Board. I just celebrate the Tuscan nature in my label. I have no name wine, but I bring in the label that really represent by some characters the wine content in the bottle. In this case, Chianti, that really it's a Chianti old-fashioned because the idea was the past to produce a wine as like the Chianti famous until the 70s, then a wine easy, lighter, and maybe in 2 words, an everyday wine. There is a baby wild board. There is a baby wild board. It's made by 100% Sangiovese, fermented still. Not only. Here, wine is drinkable. It's really casual, but at the same time, it's no banal because easiness, there is the richness in this case because it's very dense and rich of fresh fruits. A lot of people are surprising because in Indian mind have a wine make the wine maybe as like a wine so cheap and easy, but no really varies about aromas that you receive. There's a lot of people are the opposite. No, the Chianti Classico really mainly about than the real content of the bottle. In this case, really are at the end, really the young one. It's old-fashioned versus my approach the winemaking of the Chianti Classico. The idea is bottle something that is mostly modern. Then the evolution of the style from the 70s today, a different mood of drinkability. It's always drinkable, but certainly the finest thing that is possible fun, it's completely different. Maybe if I think into a pairing with something to if the Chianti if my Chianti is an everyday wine, my Chianti Classico perhaps it's a wine to
special occasion
or in a Sunday meal. If I think to an Italian in the mood, certainly it is very easy to drink with a lot of different things. Maybe also with a soup, with a simple dishes of pasta with tomato sauce versus the Chianti Classico. It's better with something more consistent. Like maybe a lasagna or something with ragu inside or something intense.
Oh, interesting. So, do you belong to the both consortiums, both Chianti and Chianti Classic, or only one of them?
Sorry, I have not heard.
No, I said, are you a member of both consortiums, both Chianti and Chianti Classic, or only one of them? Did you hear?
No, not really.
I said, are you a member of both consortiums, both the Chianti and the Chianti Classic? Okay.
Yeah, I'm absolutely both of the consortium because I think it's are two big family when it's possible. Try some help or some vehicle to promote at the end. So the real the real action that a consortium they do it really is the promotion and be in a big group of winemaker or winery. They arrive in a or different or by single or collective, certainly help to valorize it, to arrive finally also to the public, because certainly I'm so lucky because the winery it's close to the SP48 that really it's one of the main way of connecting to Siena. Quindi then this way intercept a lot of moved by this part of Tuscany. I receive a lot of people every day during to tasting wine and oil, but certainly it's necessary also to
have the support
from or to exactly to arrive in different fair, in different exposition, and I'm not powerful as I don't know, big fair as like in Italy or I don't know, or the provine the growth is absolutely necessary be associated. Also because actually it's really easy. It's not as like maybe a few years ago that it was so called asking the association. Now it's really easy and smart taken as a consortium. Yeah.
No, but I mean that's good. But so you go to the bigger fairs? Do you go to Italy and to Provine and these trade shows, or do you go to the smaller ones?
Well, I'm recently I'm stopped to come to Italy. I never to visiting or to be in Provine or Expo. To Italy, I'm present the last 2 years not, but before almost about 5 years old in the wine bar. Not in the consortium in this case, but in the streets of the wine land of Arezzo.
Oh, okay.
Here in Arezzo province, there is one of the streets of the wine present in Old Tuscany, and maybe from the between the different streets that there are, every stand and really have an action as like a consortium. Really may just promote. Usually, the largest view about province of Arezzo, but certainly to maybe to the product that I bought actually the scale of the fair, maybe it's too big respect to the product because now I know the last time, for example, the last September, I collected my first wine to a potential of 24,000 bottles.
Oh, okay.
But actually, last 5 years, every year I bottle just 11,000 bottles.
Oh, okay.
In every edition, a big fair for me maybe it's no.
No, that's true. It's
not
that
exactly
not that useful because you don't have that many.
A lot to play maybe in a very good sport, but at the end about it's not very easy because the production are very short there by each.
So I read that you're also organic, and you said something in the beginning that you're organic. But is there something you want to say about your organic methods or your way of thinking about organic?
Yeah, well, I decide to matter. I'm always at the nature from maybe because I'm raised up here, maybe because it's one of my personal attitudes. But also about the theme of the biodiversity, about the theme of the reduction of the emission of, about the needing of to reduce the consumption of water. I don't know why, but really I'm always fascinated about this ecologic thematic, this ecologic theme. And really, for me, it's a simple consequence because in a gestion of a farm, really, in my case, it's natural. converting, apply the extra to proceed in a regular gesture. This is also because my father, 1989, have started a protocol that is the Tuscany region have introduced, that was known agricoltura integrata, that have a special certificate with a white butterfly in a camp, blue like a sky. It's an hybrid at the end. It's a certification that provides a big reduction of the utilization of the different things utilized in agriculture that came from organic synthesis. Practically looks like the door to see it at the organic struggle at the end, because are admittable organic fertilizer or semi-organic, the total synthetic. Something about the spring. Also, this spring it's possible just one time season release a synthetic, for example, copper, respect to a natural fertilizing organic. Then 2006, I decided to introduce and started the organic struggle about the olives, naturally. And stop. I don't feeding fertilizer. I don't disperse fertilizer in the olive fields. Just pruning the olives. I smashing the leaf, the branch leaf on soil. The mulch that I obtain, the micro. The meshing remaining upon the soil, and then reintegrate the soil about the own substances, how necessary. We know that the vine stock is the mostly domesticated culture applied from the human civilization, and then it's necessary. This person chemistry, certainly it's I'm always alert to feeding to this person the minimum possible, because really at the end, also if it's utilized natural method that really was obtained by mechanic process, and at the end it's a metal that remaining upon the soil active a long time if it's something that is always washable.
I'm just trying to say welcome to. Because I see there's a bit of new viewers now. So we're talking to Mirko from Poggi Del Chianti, and I see there's a bit of an echo now. But so if anybody has any questions, you can just write them in the comments here. Anyway, just continue about we were talking about his organic farming and organic view on his winery close to Arezzo. But you're not biodynamic, you're only organic. Or do you believe in biodynamic?
I'm organic because I think the biodynamic in my it's the next step, but in my approach, maybe by my study, it's too much. It makes for me well. If the technique utilized to the biodynamically the technique that really are absolutely allow. When arrive the shamanism, for me it's a little bit too hard because it's something that they create some humor, because I think it's absolutely true. We discover old technique utilize possible, but really when we arrive to thinking about to talking about mantra or soil to re-energize the soil, for me it's something a little bit far to my attitude.
No, but that's completely normal.
Maybe because
I was just curious.
no, because it's funny because I'm perhaps my a little bit more scientific and technical, and then something it's makes me some funny to me, and then no, I prefer to be just organic.
No, but that's completely normal. So there's a bit of a new viewers coming and going, so I think they're a bit shy to make questions today. But something else you want to add about this that you think you wanted to say, but you might have not about the organic or about the wines? I mean, do you export or do you sell only in Italy? For people who wants to find your wines.
I don't export nothing. I sell 90% of the total directly here at the farm.
Oh, okay.
I receive people in media, around 20 people per day during the season. The best of the people stamping through the sign of the winery and decide to stop. But in also an export, but I think it's every walking and to run stamping during the way make a very short step and create my wine, and then think into an expansion and arrive really to go to the whole amount of wine to lose. Me too, actually, from the last year, really. I arrived at practically the double amount of the wine necessary with respect to the scale that I have, and I'm starting to be partner to another big winery here in Chianti Classico area. Certainly, the dream it will be bottle the whole production. It's necessary wait and.
Well, I mean, it's good that you can sell everything at the winery, or 90%. That's not that common, I think. That.
Yeah, I know. I'm really lucky. I'm like to my work. The direct sale actually is the key of my success, because I can be also in my shoes when I produce the wine, because certainly I not absolutely market oriented. I'm searching to bottle wine, so perhaps that satisfies maybe first my ego and my taste.
So people should go and visit you. So how do they find you? People who comes to Italy, they should go and visit you.
Best part, stamping casually upon the sign, by the way. Okay. because some friends have suggested to come. But I think driving by the way, see the sign, decide to stop, and usually arrive, have a tasting. Another lucky thing that usually I am present here always at the winery. Then people searching an experiences about a truly experience about a winery found the winemaker that really welcomed the people and explained the wine plus compared to a simple impulse. That really it's really good, but maybe give me this chance about my work.
And if they ask, I mean, people, also foreigners who ask, do you send them abroad, or do they have to bring them with them themselves?
Certainly bring the wine, carry on in your car. Sometimes I ship also Europe or shipping with a logistic partner.
Okay. No, I'm just asking if people also from the States are listening in, because often they ask these things. So.
Usually, from the people
so in Europe,
from the States, I received just today. Often I receive a family from Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
Part of the wine we go to the consumption during the weekend or the holiday. Part the famous 2 bottles to span in the check-in are bring it directly. So some other time you keep wine 12, 6, 12, or multiple of 12. It's really easy.
Okay, no, perfect.
Especially to the US people. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So we're actually at an hour now. So I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to add that you think is important to know about your winery? There wasn't much questions today, but there was a lot of people listening in. But I guess they're not. They're a bit afraid sometimes to make questions. So I did them all. But I don't know. Do you want to add something? Is there anything you want to?
No, maybe in the unique wine. No, we have the wine. We have more talking about.
That's true. The Trebbiano, no?
Yeah. Same technique of the rosé. Cryomas upon the skin. 50% Trebbiano, 50% white Tuscan Malvasia or Bianca Lunga del Chianti. A whole week in cryo maceration. Then about color and about body. Then after 1 week, the racking of the mast help a very slow and long fermentation. Then at the end we obtain wine crispy about the aromas and very full and fat. The first the dry ice that really it's CO2 iced to crash the molecular composition of the skin, color and flavor and enrich the mast. If everything goes good, the fermentation started because the CO2 from the solid state of ice naturally gasify and operating. The temperature of the must help really the temperature. Usually the fermentation time is around 18 days from to. Yeah, at the end we obtain a wine that it's really personal about identity in Tuscany. Before the red, really, it was famous to make quite on to recently mine that really it's an historian that dedicate beyond passion also to the wine area, also really part of the Valtambra, also in of the province of Florence, was really famous to make white. The white wine are marketed often mostly expensive and have more value than it's really famous. The production of yellow wine was originally unknown. White wine, yellow color, very deeper and goldish than a yellow one. As like more or less, it's very green color. In this case, came from the skin.
Okay.
It's very.
And which are the particular aromas or notes for those who are listening in? How would you describe the?
Compared to other white or to Nordish white wine, it's completely different. If we compare with another Tuscan, maybe it remember a little bit the Vernaccia di San Gimignano. Okay. It's certainly a white wine, mainly fruity than flowery. It's certainly dry at the taste. The acidity there is, but it's really balanced from the body because the clear maceration enrich and give viscosity, fluidity. The wine is very opulent and round when it fits. Certainly, it remember white fruits like pear, a green apple. It's certainly also a little bit flowery, but maybe it's mostly fruity than flowery.
Okay.
It's so long because we need a long back taste.
So I don't know, any of you who are listening in, if you have any question for Mirko, because I think otherwise in a couple of minutes we will round it up, so we'll not keep him too long. But it's been very interesting, and it's actually an area that I don't know very well yet. I mean, I know some wineries around Arezzo, but I'm not that familiar with the area, so I still have to visit.
Yeah, I'm here.
So I think for those of you who will be in Tuscany in the summer now, because a lot of people are writing me now every day that they want tips about wineries and places to visit. So I think this could be a very interesting place to visit because it's not in the typical area around Florence and the Direve, but it's still a very interesting Tuscan area towards that. So no. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's an area that is a bit less talked about, perhaps among.
In the last year, maybe in the last 10 years, it was discovered from many tourists.
Okay.
Year by year, it's less famous because we are really close to some other point that those are from maybe 40 years ago, maybe before, as like Gaiole or Radda. So the people, the best that arrive here to my winery, the target is visiting, I don't know, maybe and bigger castle in Gaiole, or in totally surprising, because really it organized your trip by the different tourist guide. There is also in a guide, it's impossible to have the whole address, and then maybe the mostly representative or the most the own foundation about some centuries through the shoulder in castle, and but it's always a surprise to the people that arrive. But I think it's a good surprise.
No, that's good. No, I enjoyed it very much, and I also learned a lot about your. We learned a lot about the soil and the area where you are, and that you're very high. And I have at least tasted your Chianti Classico wines, but I still have to taste the Chianti part. So I think there don't seem to be any questions today. So I'm sorry about that, but I'm sure they will write you when because I've been live both here and on YouTube, so if there's any questions, I will send them to you afterwards. So I think we can, I don't know, if you don't want to add anything, I think we can end it here, so I don't keep you too long. So for the rest of you who are listening in, we thank Mirko here, and next Tuesday I will have an American blogger and sommelier, Maya Parrish, who is actually pretty cool. She live streams on Periscope and on Facebook Live from events in, I don't know exactly where she is in the States, I think somewhere in Maryland or something like that. So we will listen to her take on Italian wine, how it's perceived in the US and so forth, which can be quite fun. And so I think if anybody wants to listen in, and it could also be a way to make a connection with for wineries here, to make a connection with an American quite on social media quite quoted blogger and a live streamer. So I think that can be interesting. And then it's Vinitaly, so I'm not going to live stream for during the week that I'm at Vinitaly, and then we'll see further on. So thanks again, Mirko, and it was very nice to have you here. I don't know, do you want to say something before we...
Thank you to guest me, and say goodbye to all over the world.
No, there's been a lot of viewers, so it's been appreciated. Sometimes they don't make any questions, sometimes they ask a lot of questions, so that's, you never know. So thanks again, and I hope to see you soon, either at some event or if we come and visit you. Probably in the summer we will come and visit you. So thanks again.
Right, you're really welcome. Bye.
Bye-bye, and have a nice evening. See you soon. Ciao, ciao.
Oh.